Claire Curran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a basic fundamental principle of our democracy, of our country, that data and information about any individual that is collected by a government, whether it's a department, a ministry or an agency, should be kept confidential, and that the government agency can be trusted to treat your information within a set of guidelines. That your personal details will not be accidentally emailed to a complete stranger, as we've seen with the latest breach at EQC, and that your sensitive information will not be shared inappropriately or handed to the media to make a political point. How can the public of New Zealand trust a government that allows systemic breaches across multiple departments to occur and agencies, and when they occur, that the Prime Minister behaves as if it's all not a problem and is indifferent and dismissive, as we've seen this week? Mr. Speaker, this is an extremely serious matter, and it's a matter of public trust. And it requires a serious response and an acknowledgement that these issues need to be addressed, not just on a department by department or a case by case basis, but right across the government. It requires a systemic response, and it requires the Prime Minister of this country and all of the ministers on that side of the House to take off their blinkers, get out of their horses and carts, stop their jokes and get into the 21st century. And the Prime Minister really had better smarten up, because his pathetic responses are being met with derision, Mr. Speaker, and disbelief from an ICT community which is aghast at the ignorance and indifference that he's showing, because this isn't just about an individual's human error. This is 2013 and it shouldn't be happening. There should be systems in place to prevent these things happening, that prevent human error. In the last year, as Phil Goff pointed out, there's been more than 120,000 New Zealanders have had their privacy breached by this government's incompetence and head-in-the-sand attitude, or its blatant disregard for individual privacy. Phil Goff read them out. 7 different ministries and agencies, Hekia Parata and Paula Bennett, 2 ministers, caught out releasing private correspondence and private information. The private sector has warned repeatedly that New Zealand has a major problem with information security, and a strategy released late last year by a group of IT security professionals said that while technological innovation is high within the New Zealand market, the national spend on educating, training and developing skilled technical personnel is surprisingly low, creating an imbalance and directly contributing to the fragility and vulnerability of our nation's IT systems. Now, if that's not a significant warning, I don't know what is. Yesterday, the CEO of the Institute of IT Professionals, Paul Matthews, said that EQC had failed Security 101 and it was Mickey Mouse stuff, that such sensitive information could be sent so easily to an outside person. It's not rocket science. C-Mail, which David Shearer referenced yesterday in the House, is just one secure electronic system. Why hasn't it been mandated across all government agencies and ministries? As I understand it, it isn't mandatory, it's an opt-out system. And the point is that we now need, what we need to know is that there is a basic system across all agencies, and if there is sensitive material to be handled, then it's critical. There's plenty of options out there. The private sector has plenty of options if the government was willing to ask them. Simple checks. You send the email with an attachment and it bounces back, checking that you really want to send it. Mr. Speaker, last year 2/3 of New Zealanders said they didn't trust government departments with to protect their information. I wonder what they would be saying now. We have to treat treat this seriously. I've got a private member's bill which will come before this House in the next few months. It's called the Electronic Data Safety Bill. It sets up a special commission of inquiry across government agencies. It's a very serious matter. In the absence of a joined-up strategy for our data security, I urge everyone to support it.
Aaron Gilmore.